Hello and welcome. Once again, time to do some retro CSS battles. These are daily targets from April of 2024. This is April 4th, April 5th, and April 6th. Each distinct and special kinds of graphical targets that you can get access to if you go to CSSBattle.dev. You can get daily targets daily, and these past ones you can get if you've got a Plus membership, as I do. All right, let's get right started. Approach-wise, I tend to use a single element and a paragraph tag. I think this one, however, I'd like to do with two conic gradients and a linear gradient. I think that's what it is. Let's sort out and see what that looks like. We'll do a background, and it's a conic gradient. That I guess we need two of them. One does this yellow bit, and one does the orange bit of the triangle that's pointed downward. So let's do the orange part first. So conic gradient, probably at the center. So we don't need to do an at, and we do from, I think it's 45 degrees, and then this orange we'll do transparent rather, and that goes 75% around, and then orange is the interior color. That's how you get that shape. Now it's not right in the center, so we do from 45 degrees at 50%, which is the middle on the x-axis, and then let's call it 220 pixels, something like that, and that's too much. 200, 18, 170, 171, 172, 169, 170 maybe, 171. That could be right. So, and if we provide a background color in the distance, and actually we don't want that orange color, then we can see if that's a clean edge. It's a pretty clean edge. If I'm gonna leave that. No, I'm gonna actually adjust that to 0.5. We got a clean edge on this side, but not on this side. So could this be something like 200 pixels, 200.1 pixels? I know that's silly, but 0.5. How about 199.5 pixels? That looks slightly better. I know it seems ridiculous to need to do that, but sometimes decimals are required to get what looks like a good set. Oh, so that's the first part. The second part needs to be on top of that and the yellow portion. So rather than orange, we need a comma between them, and then we do yellow. You'll notice that makes this all yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the background color just so we can see what we're doing, and then I'm going to move that vertically by decreasing this number, 150, 140, 35, 4, 33, 32, 31, 30, 129.5, and I'm going to do 50% rather than that number, 0.1%, 49.9%, and then downward 6, 7, 128. That looks pretty good. Not too bad, huh? All right. Okay, so that's the first part. What other gradients do we need? I'm going to use, I'll use the ampersand since this is going to apply to our overall container. All right, so now we need a linear gradient coming in from the side. And we can do 2 or 1, but we need multiple color stops. I think what that means is we need 2. We need one with the yellow and the yellow. So let's do that part. Yellow, transparent, and then yellow. And you can kind of see that happening, although in the wrong direction. 90 degrees gets us there. Let's call that 40%. 0, 60% 0, and that's too narrow. So let's fix that. About 30, 30, 70. Now here's the good part. We're going to do the individual stripes, and I think to do that we do a linear gradient that just repeats and has a width. So 90 degrees, and then we're going to say it starts at orange, goes to yellow, and for our sanity's sake, we're going to do this over 200 pixels, and we're going to give it a width of 40 pixels, and we're going to say no repeat because we just want to get the stripe right. So that's what that looks like. We're over too far. How about 1.8? 1.85. I think that's correct. And then the width of this, well, let's say it's half and half, so 50% 0. So that's the stripe. So we need to be wider. How about 50? How about 60? And that's it. So now when we let it repeat, in theory, we'll have gotten the stripes we need. Let's submit that and see. I'm seeing some edge here that I don't like on the 45-degree angle. Oh, submitted and an error on the CSS Battle backend. We'll try again. We don't let the red nasty server error daunt us. Unless it does daunt us, which it might. Waiting. That's 99.9%. So where's the error? I think let's default this to the 50% and then 50%. Uh, 50.1, 0.2, 49.9%, 0.8, 7, 0.8. Let's try that. We're just keep trying. It's going to look like I'm not doing anything here for a little while. And if we can't do the conic gradient, then we'll create an element with those stripes. We might not have a choice. All right, 7, 8, 9. Going to adjust these numbers and adjust this number as well. Okay, I'm going to submit again. Just keep trying. A lot of programming is repetition and trying slight variations. There's a 100% match, and we'll take it. Am I excited and happy about this solution? Not given the fact that I had to tweak what seemed to be pretty straightforward math. But this does do the job. And, you know, it's fairly readable code as much as it's, you know, odd code. All right, final submission, and then we're done with this one. Okay. There we go. Well, look at this guy. This is an interesting shape in a lot of different ways. Is there a way to do this one with all backgrounds? I feel like the win here is to do this using elements. So let's create a blank template with this in the background. And really, this is about how little can we write to create these shapes. I kind of think there's opportunities for a box shadow solution to this guy in a lot of ways. I don't know if that's plausible, but it might be. And then we've got this outlier piece here, the middle square. I know it might seem like the the opposite way to do this, but I'm going to do the square in the middle first, just while I'm thinking about the other parts. And that's going to be a conic gradient, 75% around, and then to this brighter color, and that's like, you know, it's like, well, what's the width? It's from 185 to 215, so it's like 30 pixels by 30 pixels. Don't forget your commas, comma, and then we move that over 100 pixels, 100 pixels, and let's just keep moving it, moving it, moving it. 1 to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 185, and then is this also 185? No, it's probably 150 or something. 140, 135. There. So we got the first piece, and we could do all of this like this, right? We could do each one of these backgrounds in that particular way, but we're not going to. So let's do width. So let's do background. Normally what I would do here is do this in quadrants and sort of subdivide it. But because this is sort of symmetric but also asymmetric, I'm going to create the elements that cover each one using heights and margins only. 100, and then I'm going to adjust these margin values so that it fits. So the first one fits here, and then the second one will be here, and then the third and fourth one will be here and here. So let's do this. We're going to do, okay, so here's our margins, and we're going to set multiple values here. So there's 100, 100, 0, 100. Okay, so and we're going to turn off the margins on the body entirely. So now we're going to squeeze this into place. So the top margin is more like what, 50, 50, 40, 30, 30. And then this number is too high, so it's 80, 70, 72. Okay, and the height is not tall enough. 1, 10, 20, 30, 35. And then width needs to change. So this is this number, 200, 210, 20, 30, 40, 45, 35, 37. All right, so now we've got that. So what do we do next? What's the easiest way to do the next one? I feel like it's, so let's create a second element, and third and fourth. So we're gonna do P plus P. That's got a different margin, minus 100. So that's what that looks like. And let's create some other numbers here. 0, 0, 0. We will variabilize this. Probably it's minus 110, 20, 30, 1 minus 135. Okay. And then we need to increase this number. How about 200? So this is the mess we've got now, such as it is. How about 240? Okay, so it's too much. We need the height to be different. So the height here is like 50, 60, 70, 80, 75. Okay. And then the width, so this number is too great, so 200. How about 180? 185? 182? 187? 177. There it is. All right. And this number is too far negative. Make it 1, 2, 105. Oh, wait. How about 85? There we go. 85, 95. There we go. So this height is also wrong. 6, 5, Oh boy. So it's getting away from me here. Let's make this height. Oh, here's the problem. We got many more elements than we need, and they're all kind of bunching up. That's no good. So let's get this right. We do one at a time. So this is that narrowing the problem as programmers is super important. 65, and we were correct. It was 75. So how about 70, 72? Okay, so there's that 72. So we got a second one now. So let's give this, rather than do it in that weird way, we'll do a PB, and then now we'll do another one, PC. And we're going to put that attribute here so that we very selectively. So C, and I'm going to do a background of pink just so I can see it. The margin is going to be like -100. We can't see anything yet, unfortunately. Oh, because we don't have the correct. There it is. And it flashes onto the screen. So too far up. How about a positive integer for the margin? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then this margin is going to be probably what? Probably it's going to be 72. There it is. And then this margin is going to be 200. There it is. 182. How about 192? How about 172? How about 167? Nope. 160. No, 170. Wrong direction. 24, 5, 6, 7. There it is, 177. And then the height is wrong here. So this is going to have that same height of 75, I think. Yeah, 75. So that's our next object. So again, we're just creating the conditions to do the real work. All right, so here let's create D. So it's our final piece. All right. D, we're going to again do our background. This time we'll do yellow. And then our margins are going to be there's our minus. And let's see, 0. It's probably going to be what? 72? 72, 0, 200. Something like that. Okay. We're in the zone. Minus, so more negative at the top, 110, 20, 30, 35, 135, and then greater for this left margin, 2, 3, 5, 7. All right. Those are the shapes we've created for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so is there anything we can do that's saved, that's in common? We could also create one and rotate it, admittedly. But I kind of don't want to do that. I definitely don't want to do that. What I want to do is to variabilize the backgrounds here and then flip things upside down as necessary. So here are the pieces. We want a background. So is there a background in common that we could do for all of these? There might be. They've all got, so linear gradient to top, color, 20 pixels, transparent. And that does something. C and D are flipped upside down. right? So we could do scale -1. And that does something. Is that a mistake? Well, maybe. Let's find out. How about 15? Yeah, there it is. And then let's do get another one of those, linear gradient. So you're probably used to either no angle or an actual degree variable, but 2 top or 2 bottom are also options. So 2 left and the same thing. That's another option. And that's okay, so these are flipped in a different way, right? So we don't have those in common. So scale is doing some work there that's kind of interesting. So let's do this. Let's do scale var -- x or 1 and var -- y or 1. And then we need a semicolon, otherwise everything breaks. So this scale, we can do x is -1. And then we also need a y for c. Needs to be -1. Did that work? Do we want that? I'm not sure that's what we want. So we want, so for D, we want, okay, so that's correct. And that's correct. So these are all correct now, but B, we need to change something. We're using the same pattern for each. So for this one, what do we want? We want it x -1. There it is. Cool. So we're sharing the same background. It's pretty verbose as a background, but this will do it. I do kind of like it. And actually, the 2 left or 2 top, we can do another color stop, and then I think we got it. So 0, 40 pixels, and then this. So they're all kind of consistently doing that. 0, 55 pixels, and then transparent. And that might do it. Are we close? Oh, we're almost close. We're almost there. How about 45 and 60? Ooh, so close. Ah, so there's our problem. We got a problem. So what's the right way to do this? Is it not this, but 90 degrees? How about -90 degrees? How about 180? How about -180? Oh, I've outsmarted myself. Let's do the 2 top again. All right. So what can we do to alter these so they work? Well, we can variabilize the 2 top, right? So that B and C have a slightly different so is it, so the 2 left, so I'm gonna do so I do pink just to make sure. So this pink is correct. We like that. it's this one that's the problem. So and then if I do, so that's all right. So what's the way to solve this? Okay. It should be at a 90-degree angle, so that's actually in the wrong place. So the expectation of this to left is no good. So this should be to top. So if I did what to right, would it be correct? No. To left. To left would be correct. Okay, so I think what this means is the pinks is all correct, so we need to do something else with this other one. There we go. Okay. Thank you for your patience. So this final one. What is the gradient to do what we want to do? To do the middle part of the F, right? So linear gradient. Which is and is there one? That's sort of the tricky part there. I am less confident that I can do this as a universal. So in which case, what? It's linear gradient. So let's do it as a var. G or linear gradient to top, transparent, 40 pixels, pink, 60 pixels, transparent. Okay. And once we get it right, then we can adjust. So 40, is it 45? Okay. So in B and C, we need a different value for G. G, linear gradient, of to right, whoops, transparent, and we'll do yellow, transparent. And it's probably that 45 pixels, 0, 60 pixels, 0. To left, then, because that's flopped. Okay, so if that's the case, then for C, we want the same thing. Would that work? Yes. So yes. So the thing to variabilize is not that. It's this or to left. So var dash dash D direction to top. So we're going to unvariabilize this, clump, clump, and then it's D is to left. I hope this works. Can you make a variable of to left? I think you can. Let's find out. Yes, you can. We'll take it. And I think this is a good solution. Well, it's a weird solution, right? We're using the same pattern for each and then flopping them. which gets us at, is there a simple way to do this? Yes, there is. Of course, there is. But this is a fun way to do it. I certainly enjoyed it. Okay, so let's variabilize margin width. So var is -m or this, and height is var -h or this. We've got the x's and y's, which at this point, maybe there was a better way to do that using only the directions of the gradients. So do we want to bother with that? We would have to make variables anyway. So we'll leave that be. Be that as it may. Or is a solution to flop some of these on the no, because it's a rounded return. I'm still happy with this. All right. So linear gradient bar D, two left, and they're both two left. So if I do this, yeah, so that's no good. So that proves that the once I'm committed to the odd solution to this is the way to do it. Otherwise, I got to rethink how everything is done. Whoops. What's going on there? Oh, okay, that's it. Got an extra parentheses, which is why I couldn't remove that semicolon. All right. Are we there? Did we do it? All right, so we got variabilized height and margins. So then this is -m. This is -h. And again. And again. And again. Super peculiar solution in a lot of ways. All right, let's unit replace, minify, and I don't think we submitted, which is probably a mistake. we might have gotten ourselves in trouble. All right, that's fine. Super fun, weird solution, and I like it. Are there other things that we could tune here? Probably. We could tune the attributes and maybe refine down, add some attributes to do the scaling, but I'm content with that solution. All right, next. Can we do this all in the background? Let's start with the circle part, because that's kind of the most interesting part to me. Radial gradient, circle, and we're going to do this color over top of this color. There, you can see it. Let's call it 30 pixels, 0. Probably not big enough, but if we create a height, so we need a position, so we need to change the height. So 100 pixels is the width, and then our height is 50%. That's the way to get doubled, but we need it to be at 25% or something. 20 pixels. Let's make this circle bigger, because it is bigger. 50, 40, 50, 45. That's what we get there. So let's move the position. 20 pixels, 40. Here's the problem. I thought I was affecting one thing and I wasn't. So 50% is actually the X position. What we need is changes the Y position. Is it just 0? Oh, it's just 0. There I was overthinking the the way that's working. And it's a far simpler solution. All right, so there's our first part. And let's make this transparent. And the next part is going to be a conic gradient, I think. And that's going to be transparent, 75% around. And then be this color. Oh, and it's all exploded. What's the, so I've got some syntactic problem here that I don't know what it is yet. Oh, because this should be transparent. That's why. So let's do an at, what is it, 20 pixels, 100 pixels? Or probably 20 pixels would be all we need. Maybe it's 30 or 40. And then by moving this 100 pixels over, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 85, and then we can move that downward, 40 pixels down. There it is. Seems to be correct. All right, and then the last thing, we do a linear gradient that goes from the side, and we will use the 90-degree syntax. That is shorter than to left or to right. Color, light color, and then the dark color, the dark purple. There, and that's actually kind of a nice shape. All right, so it's just like 40%, 0, 60%, 0. That's too much. So what is that number? What is it, 30? 31, 32, 31, 69.5, 68.5. Let's try a Q value. 200 pixels, 200 Q. Oh, way wrong. 280, 289, 290 Q, 91, 291 Q. A crazy number. 100 Q, let's say. 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 32, 33, 34. None of those numbers are good. How about 100 pixels? 10, 20, 25. There it is. Let's submit that. See if it's correct. Never know. Might be. Could be. Let's find out. Submitting. Waiting. CSS server's a little bit slow. Sometimes that happens. And that's 100% match. So we will unit replace and minify. Are there other tunings that could be made? Possibly. We'll resubmit and try to get final score here. An enjoyable set of solutions to daily targets from April 2024. Truly a wacky solution, this one. There, I think by making a few elements, you could do this all with box shadows as well. That definitely would be less, well, more straightforward code, because once you create one of these elements, then you can do font, three. So one and then 1, 2, 3 shadows. Potentially you could do these horizontal lines. So 1, 2. So here's one element. Here's a shadow. 1, 2 element. 1 shadow. 2, 3 shadows. 4, 5 shadows. 6, 7 shadows. And then a vertical line, and then the same thing again, 7 shadows probably, something like that, or at least 5 anyway. Fun set of challenges, enjoyable. Thanks for watching. Make a web page. CSS and HTML are great. Everybody's carrying around web browsers. You can make a web page and share it and tell the world what you think of what the heck is going on in the world, because yeah, the people are who matter. We, the people, are the governed, and we ought to do some governing too. All right, that's enough. Have a great day. Bye-bye.